The internet is in absolute chaos after shocking reports surfaced that Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk, has suddenly vanished just hours after Joe Rogan dropped what he called the most explosive evidence yet. According to multiple insiders, Erika disappeared from her usual locations. Her phone went offline, her team stopped responding, and her social media accounts went dark all at the same time. People close to the situation say she left behind no explanation, no message, nothing. She simply vanished. The timing is what has everyone talking. Joe Rogan didn't just hint at new information. He went on record saying he had documents and recordings that directly contradicted Erika's statements about Charlie's final days. He claimed the evidence changes everything, and within minutes, clips of his announcement blew up across every platform. Then, almost immediately, Erika was gone. Fans are calling it suspicious. Charlie's parents are demanding answers. Even major political commentators are questioning how the widow of one of the most influential conservative figures could disappear. The exact same day new evidence drops about her involvement. Some see it as panic, others call it strategy. But the biggest question is simple. What was she trying to avoid? Right now, there's no official statement, no confirmed location, no explanation for why she left or where she might be. But one thing is clear. Someone with something to hide doesn't run without a reason. Part 1 begins with the kind of tension that makes the entire internet feel like it's holding its breath. The news of Erika Kirk's sudden disappearance wasn't announced through any official channel. It slipped out quietly from people who noticed something wasn't right. A neighbor saw her car gone before sunrise. A staff member from her foundation said she abruptly canceled everything without notice. And a friend who tried calling her said the number went straight to voicemail, then stopped ringing entirely. Within hours, the pattern became clear. Erika hadn't just stepped away. She had vanished. But the real shock came when people connected her disappearance to Joe Rogan's bombshell. The night before Erika went missing, Joe sat across from an investigative guest on his podcast, speaking with a seriousness that you rarely see from him. His tone wasn't dramatic, it was heavy. He said he had obtained files that completely flipped the narrative surrounding Charlie Kirk's final days. These weren't rumors or theories. These were messages, recordings, and metadata that didn't match Erika's story. The clip exploded instantly. Joe didn't show the evidence on screen, but the way he described it was enough to send social media into a frenzy. He mentioned inconsistencies in Erika's timeline, contradictions in her statements, and communications she claimed never existed. Then he said the part that sent shockwaves across the political world. Someone close to Charlie wasn't telling the truth. And I think they knew exactly what they were doing. Only a few hours later, Erika disappeared. People started digging. Her last Instagram story was vague, a close-up of a window with the caption, "Sometimes you need space." But what raised eyebrows was the timestamp. It was posted around the same time Joe Rogan was preparing to release the clip, almost like she knew something was coming. Charlie's parents were the first to issue a public reaction. They didn't hold back. They said Erika disappearing right after Joe revealed new evidence was not a coincidence, and that they had been warning everyone for months that she was hiding something. They begged reporters to pay attention to the timing, claiming Erika had a pattern of running whenever the truth got too close. People who once defended Erika started questioning everything. Her political allies, normally vocal, suddenly went quiet. Meanwhile, the online community started piecing together every strange moment from the past year. Her inconsistent interviews, her refusal to release certain documents, the emotional breakdowns that seemed rehearsed in hindsight. When you lay the pieces side by side, a different picture starts to form. Hours after Erika vanished, someone leaked what appeared to be the last footage of her leaving her home. It wasn't dramatic, she wasn't running or panicking. She walked calmly toward her SUV, carrying only a small bag. But the unsettling part was her face. She wasn't sad or stressed. She looked like a person who had made a decision she couldn't undo. People started asking, was this an escape or a planned disappearance? Meanwhile, Joe Rogan found himself at the center of the storm. He wasn't hiding from it. On his next live stream, he openly admitted that he expected backlash, but didn't expect the reaction to be this extreme. He said he shared the evidence because the public deserved to know, not because he wanted drama. But he also made one thing very clear. Her disappearance doesn't make her look innocent. It makes everything worse. His guest, who claimed to have knowledge of the evidence, said something even more chilling. If she ran, it's because she knows what's coming next. Online theories exploded. Some people claimed Erika was hiding on purpose. Others believed someone helped her leave. A few even suggested she might be in protective custody, though no official agency confirmed that. What added fuel to the fire was that all her financial accounts suddenly froze. Her assistant said she didn't request it. That detail alone made everything feel bigger than just Erika running. But the biggest twist came at the end of the night, when someone close to Charlie's political circle claimed Erika had been preparing for a worst-case scenario for months. They said she had a second phone, private contacts, and an exit plan she kept hidden from everyone except one confidant. If this was true, it meant her disappearance wasn't emotional or spontaneous. It was strategic. The internet kept refreshing, waiting for any sign of her. But nothing came. No sightings. No statements. No contradictions. Just silence. And silence is the loudest reaction someone can give when they're caught in a lie. Part 2 picks up with pressure building from every direction. By the next morning, Erika's disappearance wasn't just online gossip. It had become a full-scale media storm. News outlets were running split screens, with Joe Rogan on one side and Erika's empty home on the other. Commentators who once defended her began distancing themselves, insisting they had no knowledge of her personal actions. Even her closest allies refused to answer basic questions. The silence from her camp was so absolute that it felt orchestrated. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan's leaked evidence was the only thing anyone could talk about. His team confirmed they had verified timestamps recordings and deleted messages connected to Erika, items she insisted never existed. One clip allegedly showed her discussing controlling outcomes with someone she later claimed she barely knew. Another file showed a message she denied sending, but metadata proved it came from her device. Every detail Joe revealed made her disappearance feel less like panic and more like intentional. Damage control. Charlie's parents continued speaking out. They said they weren't shocked Erika vanished. They said they had been pushing investigators for months to look into inconsistencies in her statements. They revealed moments when Erika abruptly blocked them from accessing Charlie's belongings. Even though they were his only immediate family, they said she refused to release certain digital records and repeatedly changed her story about where she was on key days. Hearing this now, all those red flags, the ones people ignored, suddenly looked undeniable. Then came the strangest part. People around Erika claimed she had recently emptied her office, moving personal files and devices weeks before Joe's podcast aired. Her assistant said she started acting different, becoming more paranoid, constantly monitoring news outlets and making private calls she didn't want overheard. Looking back, it was clear she felt something closing in. She wasn't surprised by Joe's evidence, she expected it. A source from Charlie's eggs circle revealed she had secretly requested legal crisis guidance, which usually means someone is preparing for the fallout of information they know will come out. That detail alone shifted public perception dramatically. This wasn't a grieving widow overwhelmed by stress. This was someone who knew her story was collapsing and had been preparing an escape. Meanwhile, footage surfaced from a security camera outside a gas station. His words hit a nerve. Clips spread everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, with millions of people dissecting every frame. The public wasn't just watching anymore. They were investigating. They were comparing timelines, matching receipts, pulling up old interviews, highlighting contradictions Erika had brushed aside. Every discovery pointed in the same direction. Erika was terrified of what the truth would reveal about her role in Charlie's final days. By evening, A new twist emerged. Someone close to Erika's inner circle anonymously claimed she had a backup phone only a few people knew existed. That phone wasn't just for emergencies. It was used to communicate with someone she didn't want the public to know about. The implication was chilling. Erika wasn't running alone. What made it worse was that the number associated with that phone pinged in a location far from her home just hours before she vanished. Then it went dark. People now wondered if she had help, if she had protection, if someone powerful was keeping her hidden, not because she was a victim, but because she knew too much. By the end of the night, one thing was clear. This wasn't an emotional disappearance. This wasn't shock or grief. This was a coordinated escape. And whatever Erika was running from, Joe Rogan had only revealed the first layer of it. Part 3 begins in the thick of escalating panic, not from the public, but from the people closest to Erika Kirk, who suddenly realized just how deep the situation had become. As news of her disappearance spun out of control, more insiders started speaking privately. And every new detail painted a more disturbing picture than the last. What people initially thought was a widow overwhelmed by scrutiny now looked like a woman executing a carefully crafted exit from a truth she never wanted exposed. Investigators still refuse to go on the record, but anonymous sources confirmed something major. Authorities were now examining Erika's financial activity from the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Reports indicated she had quietly withdrawn cash from multiple accounts in small increments, not enough to raise alarms individually, but collectively signaling preparation. The pattern was unmistakable. This wasn't an impulsive disappearance. It was premeditated. What made it even more suspicious was a tip from someone who worked near one of the banks Erika visited. They claimed she wasn't alone. A man was with her, someone not publicly connected to her. He wasn't her driver, wasn't a known associate, and wasn't part of her political circle. He was described as calm, protective, like someone guiding her. When the witness later tried to identify him online, they couldn't find a match to any publicly known figure in Erika's life. That revelation alone sent the internet spiraling again. Some said she had a secret partner. Others believed she aligned herself with someone connected to Charlie's political enemies. A few even thought she was being moved by someone who wanted her quiet permanently. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan remained surprisingly composed. On his next stream, he emphasized he never intended to escalate the situation this dramatically. But he wasn't going to walk back the truth either. His exact words were, "If she runs, that's her decision." But the evidence speaks for itself. People deserve to know what was really happening. He paused, then added something that shook viewers, "And there's more coming." That statement created a tidal wave. People started speculating that Joe hadn't even released the most damaging part of the evidence yet. Some insiders hinted that the files Joe reviewed included voice notes, time-stamped calls, and location data that contradicted Erika's statements about the days leading up to Charlie's final moments. What made the situation even stranger was that Joe claimed he wasn't the only one who received this evidence. He said several journalists and commentators had been sent pieces of it weeks ago, but were too afraid to go public. The fear wasn't unfounded. Every person who publicly questioned Erika in the past had faced backlash, threats, or smear campaigns that made them back down. Now, with her disappearance, people wondered if she had been the one coordinating those responses, or if someone above her was pulling the strings. Charlie's parents grew more vocal. They publicly demanded investigators consider Erika's disappearance as a deliberate act to avoid accountability. They also revealed something that hadn't been known before. Charlie had expressed concerns about someone in his inner circle shortly before his death. They didn't name names, but everyone watching understood the implication. They said Charlie felt someone close to him was manipulating information and trying to control narratives about his work and his personal life. And right after he expressed those concerns, communication between him and his parents mysteriously became limited, something they blamed Erika for. Public pressure increased even more when a journalist claimed Erika had been in possession of Charlie's encrypted laptop. which was never turned over to his family. That detail reignited all the theories people thought were exaggerated before. If Erika controlled access to Charlie's digital accounts, then she controlled the story, possibly controlled what evidence could surface or disappear. Forensic experts began weighing in on televised panels. One of them suggested that Erika might have been aware that digital forensics could retrieve deleted files. If Joe Rogan had recovered messages she thought were gone, what else might be out there waiting to be uncovered? The expert posed a chilling question. If she thought authorities were close to getting her devices, would she run? Within a day, another major twist hit. A hotel worker from a town 4 hours away claimed someone matching. Erika's description checked in under a false name but left abruptly after less than an hour. She was described as wearing sunglasses, a hat, and speaking softly, almost whispering. Security footage from the hotel wasn't released to the public. But insiders who saw it said the woman's mannerisms and posture looked identical to Erika. More importantly, she was again with a man. The same man seen at the bank. This fueled a new wave of theories. Was she meeting him? Running with him? Or being escorted by someone sent to move her? And if someone was helping her escape, who were they protecting her or themselves? The media frenzy became unavoidable. Influencers, political commentators, and even comedians started dissecting every angle. And the more people dug, the more they found glaring inconsistencies in Erika's past statements, from her interviews to her timeline to her emotional performances after Charlie's death. Clips resurfaced showing moments where she seemed rehearsed, overly defensive, or evasive. What people once brushed off now looked like warning signs. The pressure finally pushed investigators to release a short statement, confirming they were reviewing evidence connected to Erika Kirk's sudden disappearance and examining related timelines. They didn't mention Joe Rogan's involvement, but the phrasing strongly hinted that his evidence was now part of the investigation. That same night, something even more shocking happened. A whistleblower claiming to work in a federal office leaked a message. Authorities believed Erika might attempt to leave the country. They were monitoring airports, private airstrips, and border checkpoints. The whistleblower said she may be trying to flee before the full evidence becomes public, implying that what Joe Rogan released so far was only a fraction of what investigators were now uncovering. Then came the biggest twist so far. An anonymous, encrypted user posted what they claimed was a snippet of one of the voice notes Joe referenced. The voice was shaky, whispering, and sounded frightened. A woman said, "I didn't mean for this to happen. I was trying to fix it. I didn't know they would use it against him." People instantly assumed it was Erika. Others said it could be someone else entirely. But the timing, the disappearance, and Joe's statements all created a picture that felt impossible to ignore. By morning, hashtags demanding answers were trending globally. The public wasn't buying silence anymore. Politicians connected to Charlie began distancing themselves from Erika's legacy. Commentators who once defended her now admitted things didn't look right. Even the people who usually dismissed conspiracy claims were starting to acknowledge that the pattern around Erika's disappearance was undeniable. And just when the chaos felt at its peak, Joe Rogan posted a final message: "More evidence drops tomorrow." The world froze. Because if what he already released pushed Erika into hiding, the next reveal might expose exactly what she disappeared to escape. If you're still watching, you'll already know this story is nowhere near over. Every new leak, every strange move from Erika, every whisper from insiders, it all points to something much darker hiding behind the scenes. So don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss the next twist. Turn on notifications so you're the first to know when the next piece of evidence drops.